Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I will be your server Connie this evening, and today we have a wonderful special of the menu. It pairs great with a Cabernet, and this joke is wearing itself out. Okay, so yeah, we are here with a reaction to the menu. This is a movie that just came out last year. It is a horror movie centered around food and cooking and all of that jazz. Um, so I don't know everything about this. I saw one trailer and I don't remember all the details, but I know there's a great cast, including Ray Fiennes and a few others who I know I just can't think of the names of right now. But all I gathered from it, from what I can remember, the trailer and everything, is um, there's this like food tasting or something, dinner party, something like that, that a bunch of people are invited to, and things get like freaky, things get scary. The trailer I saw at least didn't actually reveal much of anything about what's actually going to be going down. It was basically all build up. Um, it was just all building everything up, building up the feel and everything. And I don't know like how far this goes. I don't know if like they're gonna be served like people or shit, or if there's gonna be like some kind of like eat or you die, or eat or someone else dies, or it could be a lot of different things. All I know is I saw the one trailer, it looked really good, and I just never had gotten around to seeing it because I think it came out around the holidays, and so I just didn't have an opportunity to see it. Um, but this is not a donation reward, in case anyone was wondering. This is just something I am deciding to react to on my own. Um, this is something I just wanted to see, and honestly, I just didn't want to wait. I didn't want to wait anymore. So we're just getting to it. And again, I don't know all the details. I don't know like the official synopsis or anything. I only saw the one trailer, and all of my knowledge from it is based off of that. But like I said, I'm very excited because that trailer did very much make me want to see this. So we're gonna see exactly how it goes down. Um, so yeah, let's just get this started and hope for the best. When the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black, then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the movie. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in today, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I would say that the original 12 Angry Men and The Green Mile are the two films I have said in the past that are the only movies that I genuinely would consider perfect. That I think have no real flaws with them at all, are exceedingly rewatchable, and are just so well acted, written, directed, performed in every way that they are flawless. At least from my perspective, I can't find a single flaw. And honestly, I would say that the menu is another perfect dish. I'm trying to keep it together because it makes me emotional to find a movie that I genuinely feel is perfect. That I genuinely feel is not just good, not even just phenomenal, but that I can't find a single flaw in. Absolutely nothing about this film is bad. I can't find a single thing I find wrong with it. Nothing about it I would complain about the pacing, the writing, the directing, the acting. Everything is perfect. The only complaint is what it's being advertised as, apparently, which isn't a fault of the movie, but rather, I guess, how it's being advertised. Because according to this, the menu is a black comedy? What? No, this is a drama. This is a horror drama. This is not comedic. Like, there may be a couple lines and everything in here that may be a little, like, funny, haha. But it's like, it's not a black comedy at all. Not even slightly. Like, not even, like, in any sense of the word could you view it that way. But either way. So I was looking at this, and apparently, oh god, who are you? The writer, basically the person who created this film, just overall. And by the way, yes, it is the same Will Ferrell. I did look that up. The person who created this film overall, Will Tracy, came up with the idea after dining at and I'm definitely going to mispronounce this, the Cornelius Siomatre restaurant? Again, probably horrifically butchered that. An island restaurant in Norway. During a honeymoon, and Will Tracy later suggested a story based on this to Seth Rice. Several figures from the world of fine dining were brought on as consultants for the film, including food designer Dominique Crenn, who I believe is one of the Iron Chefs in the new Battle for the Iron Champion, or whatever it's called. I can check that real quick. I can click on her profile here. See if I can find it. Okay, it's not saying here. I can easily just look it up, though. Yes, Quest for an Iron Legend. She's one of the newer Iron Chefs that was brought on for that. So I know who she is. I've seen her cooking. I've seen her work. But who created several dishes from her San Francisco restaurant Atelier Crenn for the fictional restaurant Hawthorne. And second unit director David Gelb, who was brought on to recreate the filmmaking style from his Netflix docuseries Chef's Table. Which, is that the one that, they named, like, a docuseries kind of thing in the movie? I don't remember if that's what it was, but it might be. But yeah. And I, of course, had to look up the critical response, and as always, take it with a grain of salt, but Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 89%, which I think is too damn low. Like, I honestly think 100% is earned here. Of 300 critic reviews, 89% are positive, with an average rating of 7.5 out of 10. The website's consensus reads, while its social commentary relies on basic ingredients, the menu serves up black comedy with plenty of flavor. Again, though, with the black comedy, what the fuck? This is not black comedy. Could you say there's social commentary and even maybe a little bit of satire in this? Yes. But it's not a black comedy. It is a horror drama. It's not black comedy at all. Like, what? And the social commentary, I think, was not basic at all, really. I think it was actually really well done. I've seen some social commentary that's relied on just the basic simplistics of things, or I've seen social commentary that is just a little too on the nose and whatnot, where it's just a little too, it's too much. They're trying way too hard to integrate that in. Here, it felt very natural in its execution. But anywho, Metacritic assigned the film a score of 71 out of 100 based on 45 critics. This also won an audience award at Fantastic Fest and has been nominated for multiple other awards as well, including Best Actor for Ralph Fiennes, Best Original Screenplay, Best Actress for Anya Taylor-Joy, and so on and so forth. And there's even some stuff coming up, some award shows coming up that this is also in the running for. But I want to see here. Also, this is only the fourth movie by director Mark Mylod. Apparently, before this, he directed Ali G. in the House, which I have never heard of. The Big White, which I don't think I've heard of, but apparently stars Robin Williams, according to this, and Woody Harrelson. Okay. And What's Your Number? Which is Anna Faris and Chris Evans, apparently, according to this. I don't know any of those three films. But this was like, it looks like all of those were comedies, and at least that's what they say. And the menu says it's a comedy, but it's not. It's not a comedy at all. I don't know why anyone would say that. I want to see some other reviews here. Like, I want to see what some other people say. Because I really want to know what other people think of this. And I know I haven't, like, really given a lot of my thoughts yet, outside of just saying, like, I believe it's one of the very, very few perfect movies I've ever seen. So let me see if I can find some other reviews here. Okay. So here's some critic reviews. Scott Tobias of The Reveal says the film fares better as a tightly constructed exercise in horror, like a cross between the mechanized death of a Saw movie and the Eat the Rich grotesquerie of Peter Greenaway's The Cook, the thief, his wife, and her lover. I don't know that one. Wenlei Ma of news.com.au says the menu is an atmospheric, claustrophobic thriller with a killer ending, but manages to fall short in serving up a full course of tarantulites. I disagree, clearly. Anton Bittel of Sight and Sound says slow-cooked revenge against social inequality, bad taste, cruel critique, culinary pretension, and even fast food cinema is unsettling and accusatory. Okay. But to be fair, here's also some critic reviews that were negative. Candace Frederick of the Huffington Post says it's easy to point and laugh at the rich or feel a sense of vindication, but you still walk away feeling hungry. Eye roll there. Jeffrey Lyles says the menu starts off intriguing, but eventually gets too bogged down, becoming the very thing it's spoofing. What? No. What? Maddie Lucas from the front row says Mylod has some fun with it, and Fiennes does some delicious work, but its Eat the Rich allegories are half-baked at best. People, there are a lot of people who just don't like the Eat the Rich idea, and it's like, I wonder why. Let's be honest here. But let's see if we can find some audience reviews, because I feel audience reviews are often a lot more honest, and even if they're disagreeing with me. Okay, so Doug H., who gave it 2.5 out of 5 stars, says unfocused vendetta against snobbery. Not a comedy, it's definitely not. Not horror, it would be considered horror. It is definitely horror. Just what? Maybe it's a revenge fantasy conceived by someone angered at being left out of a group? Kind of sick, kind of violent, kind of stupid. Okay. You gave it a weirdly middle score for seemingly hating it. Anyway, Isadora S. says a psychological terror, very well built and with an excellent photograph. Okay. Alan P., who gave it 3.5 out of 5, says good tongue-in-cheek, over-the-top culinary horror. Almost as silly as Triangle of Sadness. I don't know what Triangle of Sadness is. But it's really not silly. It doesn't come across as silly. Fiennes was at his creepy best, totally unbelievable, but watch this as a double bill with The Feast. I don't know what that is. And to calm things down, a viewing of Boiling Point. Don't know what that is. Then call for a takeaway. Scott H. only gave it half a star. Just like bad service at your local fast food restaurant, this movie leaves you wishing you hadn't gone in the first place. Let's see if we can find a full 5-star. There we go. Amazing. It was a little slow for me. This is from Corey S. At the beginning, at the start, it says, but sucked into the weird world that was created and kept me engaged till the end for sure. Let's go for like 2 more. We'll go for one more really good one and one more not as good one. Okay, so Samantha Stewart only gave it 3 out of 5 and says it was entertaining, but I think the point/concept was lost on me. So just didn't understand the idea of it, basically. Meanwhile, Catalin L, who gave it 5 stars, says it's crazy how the same critics that are being depicted in the movie are praising the movie that actually wants to expose them. The hypocrisy has no limit. Okay, that's not really a review of the movie. That's just like a call out of the critics reviewing it. Let's find an actual 5-star where it's like, okay, here we go. Where they're actually talking about the movie to end this off on. Ethan S. says, couldn't take my eyes off the screen. The movie itself is very good, but the writing and cinematography, the way every scene builds more and more suspense, is amazing. Not a lot happens in this film, and it's a slow burner. I will agree to that. It's a very slow burner. It's a very confined film. I would agree to that. But it will make you think, and that can't be said for a lot of stuff Hollywood pumps out these days. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so outside of just the general thoughts of the fact that I said, I think it's one of the few, 3 perfect movies that I have seen, at least, up to this point. What would be, I guess, otherwise what I could say about it? Well, like I kind of already said, the acting was done very well. Ralph Fiennes was delightfully, unhinged. And that's, I think, the best word for his character. He seemed just entirely unhinged. He was unnerving the entire time, even right when he was introduced. Everything just felt off about him. And Ralph Fiennes did that excellently. He performed the role to perfection, really. And even when his facade started breaking, there were a couple points throughout the movie where it started breaking, where he started showing a lot more actual emotion, whether it just be confusion or even showing there is something there. It felt natural. It felt like he was actually coming out of a shell he had built for himself over all these years. And so at the end, when Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Margot, or I forgot what her actual name was, but we'll just say Margot, when she challenges him basically with the hamburger or the cheeseburger order and everything, because she saw, of course, the picture of him happy working as a burger flipper, it's like you saw his facade drop. His entire facade broke, even if just for that time, even if he brought it back to finish off his menu and take out the rest of them. His facade broke, and as he was cooking that cheeseburger, he was happy. He enjoyed it. And it was probably the best damn cheeseburger. Seriously. It was probably so damn good. And his facade just broke. He was allowed to be himself again. Unfortunately, he was too far gone, and it wasn't able to stick with him. He fell right back into it after he let her leave and took everyone else out with himself. And it felt so unnerving of an ending, having them all burn to death, and eventually the barrel explodes and everything, which is why that was needed for the final course. And them all kind of just accepting it while she is on the boat, the Coast Guard boat heading out, and brings out her cheeseburger to take a bite while watching. You know what that reminded me of? Glass Onion. When she takes out the cheeseburger while watching the explosion and everything, it reminds me of the ending of Glass Onion. I'll just say that if you haven't seen Glass Onion yet. I won't tell you exactly how it reminds me of it, but yeah. And if you haven't seen Glass Onion, I do have a reaction on the channel to it. But seriously, yeah, it was actually very reminiscent of that for me. And that's a very good thing, because if you did see my reaction to that, I loved Glass Onion. That was my favorite movie of last year, up until I saw this, of course. When I made my video for my favorite movies from last year, it was my number one. But this definitely surpasses it. But I'm not going to change the list now. I'm not going to remake the list just because I saw this now. I mean, I saw this like in 2023, so it would count though for this year's list of older movies I saw for the first time in 2023. So it would count for that. But even beyond Ray Fiennes, Anya Taylor-Joy did amazing. Like, I don't think I've seen a lot of her stuff. I know she's gonna be Peach in that upcoming Mario movie. And she's like one of the only ones in that seems like she's actually going to give a good performance. I'm still not sure I'm going to see that unless I see it in like the French or something, because the French dub sounds good, but like I can't just watch the English, the original English, just for her. Like I'm not going to get into that here, but. I don't know what else she's been in, Maybe I can find out real quick, but let me see. Because I don't have to like look up everything. I just want to see like a short list of examples. Oh, she was in Split? Oh, okay. I know her from Split then. And Glass, of course. She was in The Witch? Whoa, wait, what? Really? Because I definitely saw The Witch. That was her first film appearance, too. I didn't realize she was that new of an actress. Huh. Apparently she was in the 5th and 6th seasons of Peaky Blinders. I didn't see that. Oh, she was the Queen. She was from the Queen's Gambit. I never saw that. I didn't know that was, I didn't know that was her. I heard that it was, like, really well received, though. What else has she been in? Oh, Last Night in Soho. Duh. That's a big one. It's like I should have remembered her for that one, considering how much I love that movie. Yeah, she was definitely in Last Night in Soho. Okay. Apparently she's going to be in the Furiosa movie, which is a prequel to the Mad Max Fury Road. Okay. And apparently she's in Amsterdam as well, which I think I heard didn't do too well, from what I remember. She was in The Northman and The New Mutants. I never saw that. I kind of lost interest in it. Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, apparently. So yeah, she actually hasn't done a lot. She's actually been in very little, all things considered. She is a newer actress. Well, Erin also, by the way, is her the character's other name. It's her real name. Well, she did phenomenal. Like she was great in Last Night in Soho too. So it's like, yeah, I can very much see that. She did phenomenally here. Like she really owned this role. She got every emotion down right. Nicholas Hoult did amazing. He's going to be in Renfield, that movie about Dracula's. God, what is the word? Assistant, not assist. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. You know. With Dracula played by Nicolas Cage in that movie. But yeah, so Nicholas Holt's going to be in that. He was fantastic in this. John Leguizamo was great playing that kind of character. It's like he really sold it well. Everyone did amazing. Everyone. But I also liked the kind of claustrophobic, very minimalist style of the film. Because it's like you see at the beginning, they head to the restaurant, to the island, and you see them all gathering together to head to the island on the boat and everything. And you start to kind of get a feel for who seems to be our main characters, Nicholas Hoult and Anya Taylor-Joy's characters. And as they like are even taking a tour of the island, you're just starting to get kind of the feel for them. But the actual movie starts when they get into the restaurant, and then almost the entire rest of the movie takes place there, with only a couple small exceptions, a couple small scenes that take place outside of it. But the vast majority of the movie takes place in that one, like that one set. And I think that was perfect. And one of my only other perfect movies, 12 Angry Men, does the same thing. There's only the very beginning of that film and the very end, and the entire rest of the movie takes place in the jury room. It's a single set from the vast majority of that film. And I think that can very much work. Sometimes you don't need a lot of sets, a lot of changes, a lot of cutaways and shit. Sometimes you can make do with just a single set and a good story. A great story in this case, and also in 12 Angry Men's case. And of course, the amazing actors all selling it exceptionally well. The soundtrack was also fantastic. It really sold the growing tension, especially once everything started to unravel. It made things so tense. Like I talked about it in the reaction, my butthole was clenched. I know maybe a little more information than you needed to know, but Jesus, I was on edge. Like I talked about like moving my feet around and everything. It's because it's like I was just so antsy about everything going down. And I knew going into this was a horror movie. I was prepared, but I was not prepared at the same time. Like I did not know how this was going to be a horror movie. I didn't even remember a lot of what the trailer showed. I just knew the very basics, so I didn't know exactly what to expect. And so, like, when he brings out the one sous chef, I'm thinking, like, oh, he's probably going to kill him here. Everything's ramping up. The music is working in that direction. Just the feeling of the scene, the way it's shot, you can tell. But then the dude ends up killing himself, pulling out the gun and shooting himself in the mouth, and it's like, oh, that went in a slightly different direction than I expected. And that kind of like happened a few times in the movie where it's like, I think I know what's going to happen, but it slightly alters that. And then once they start revealing that Margot is not really Margot and she has a connection to another one of the guests, and it's like, oh my gosh, what the hell is happening here? I'm getting thrown off in like the most small nudges of ways, you know? And it's like, it's so brilliantly done. It's so brilliant. And again, there were even little hints at things that were to come, like when she's in the silver doored room in the cabin, and she sees the photo with him, and there's that guy in the background. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, that doesn't look like anyone we've seen. Like the photo almost seems like it's making a point of showing us that, but I can't tell who that is. I don't think it's anyone important. And then when he comes in as the Coast Guard, like my thoughts are, I didn't even think about it. I just saw this guy come in as Coast Guard. I'm wondering what's going to happen, and I'm thinking he's going to die. I'm thinking that they're going to kill him. And instead, no, he ends up being like Dale and ends up being one of the line workers. And that's when it clicked for me. It's like, wait, he's the guy in the photo. And it's just like, I was so excited that I realized that. I was so excited that I realized that. And a lot of this movie just, it just enthralled me. I was hooked. I don't think there's a single point where I checked the time, because I was just invested the entire time. Like, I just, maybe it's also because of my love of food and cooking and these kind of like culinary shows that this is clearly inspired by. Like, there's clear inspirations from Gordon Ramsay. He even called the one person a donkey. It's like, okay, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, I didn't mind, because it still felt like it was like paying homage rather than just copying that. It never felt like it was just making stupid comparisons for the sake of stupid comparisons, but rather, actually making a point. And you get a lot of the point. You get a lot of the commentary that it's making. It's not like super artsy to the point where it tries to like hide the commentary in all of the shots and scenes and all, to where you wouldn't get it unless you're some kind of highfalutin art critic. No, it's very much there and in plain sight. It tells you what the commentary is, but it doesn't beat you over the head with it. It never treats you as if you're stupid, and it never treats you as if you need to like be told to your face over and over again what it's trying to say. No, it treats it naturally. It handles it very well, in my opinion. I absolutely adored this film. Again, I can't find a single thing to complain about. Like, I try to think of something. I can't think of a single thing I have an issue with. And the issues that people have posted on those reviews I read, it's like, I don't agree with them at all. Like, I actually actively disagree with them, to the point where it's like, I don't understand what you're even saying here. It makes no sense to me that someone would say these things about this movie. It is so, like, disjointed from what I feel like the experience of this film was. And it's all subjective. It's all subjective, mind you. So if you don't think this was a perfect film, if you don't even think that you liked it all that much, that's perfectly fine. I'm not against anyone having a different opinion than me, but I don't have to agree with them, with their different opinion. I don't have to agree or see their point. I don't have to understand what they're saying. To me, their views on it makes no sense, but they're also completely entitled to that opinion, and their opinion is just as valid and just as correct as mine. So I have no issue with that. I just don't understand it, just personally. And it's going to be a different experience for different people. And that's perfectly fine. In fact, I want that to be the case. I don't want everybody to just agree with me on this. And that goes for any piece of media, any piece of art. I don't want people to just agree with me or anyone else. I want everyone to form their own opinions based on their own experience. To me, this is up there with the original 12 Angry Men, the original movie version, I should say, because the original is technically a play. The original movie from the 50s of 12 Angry Men, and it's right up there with The Green Mile as being one of the now 3 films that I consider to be perfect. It's just, it's that good. I know I'm going to watch it again. I know at least, I believe the Real Rejects posted a reaction to it, and hopefully I can find some more. Because I know I will definitely want to watch this more and more and more and over and over and over. Because it's that damn good. It is that damn good. But I would love to hear your thoughts. So tell me in the comments below, what did you think of the menu? And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.